we're going to go through the Etha 2.
Yep.
We're going to go through a list of questions that we compiled from people on PB Nation, Facebook, Instagram. Yep. So thank you for everyone for doing that. But first of all, oh, sorry.
We don't know what
we had a LEDs intervention.
Yeah.
So anyway, so there we go. Right, so let's start off with...
Okay, so let's have a look.
Let's have a look what you expect.
Etha 2 replacing the current Etha. And this is the nice new box.
That's a new box.
And this is going to be available in February 2017 to purchase. So there's obviously quite a few out there doing final field testing at the moment. I shot, I took about half a dozen of them to Fulda Gap. We've got them running at fields all across the US, Russia, Europe, various places as final testing. They're in production now and we're pretty much ready to go with them. So
cool.
Going to be built up over the Christmas period and shipping at the beginning of February.
Beautiful.
Okay, right. So
there's a neutral packaging.
Have a look inside.
Zoom.
So a new case.
Yeah.
So no aluminium case for this one.
Yeah, stepped away from the tin.
Yeah, well the old Etha had the plastic case, the hard plastic case.
Yeah.
We now got a nice zipped case here. Nice, large, very well padded. It has the same EVA foam inside. So everything's really well protected, so it'll take a good bashing and everything's protected really well inside.
Cool.
So we have the usual stuff. We have manual, barrel sock. We have a two-piece barrel. So we have a same barrel that you'll find on G-Tech, 160R, E-Tech 5. That's two-piece, shaft 5 compatible, so it's reverse thread. It'll take the FR back. So you can put the FR back onto it with inserts. It'll take the pro tip, so you can make any combination of barrel. Threading is the same. Internal machining is identical to all our shaft barrels, so it's not a cheap throwaway barrel. It's the same quality as all our other barrels internally.
Cool. So people can mix and match all the bits and pieces that they want.
Yeah, if they want to. Then obviously you've got the usual hex key set, baggy set. We've got the marker itself and tube of grease. So all the stuff you'd normally expect from our and the Etha itself. So that is complete gun.
It's very different from the Etha one, isn't it?
Yes,
the original
very
Etha,
different.
Should have said.
In fact, it's completely different. There's the feed tube's the same. See, the barrel's very similar, and detents, the same detents we use in all our guns. And I think that's about it. I don't think there's any other crossover components. Obviously some of the O-rings, because they're common sized O-rings, but it's not like it's got the same solenoid or drivetrain or anything like that inside it. So I'm going to go through it in a bit more detail in a minute, but I know you have some questions you want to
Yeah. So some of the first ones are like, so why did we decide to totally redo the Etha instead of just dress up what we've already got?
Because Etha 1 has been around for a long time, been around for quite a few years, and you can, given that length of time, there's always something better.
Sorry, we keep getting LEDs interventions.
LEDs intervention is said, please ask any questions in the comment section at the bottom of the live stream.
Yeah, in the comments. Because towards the end of it, LEDs is going to come in with a few extra little questions that we may not have covered and all that kind of stuff.
We'll go through those. So if you've got any questions, please tab away at the bottom. It can be as ridiculous as you like, or it can be connected to the Etha 2 if you like. It's entirely up to you. So yes, so it was a case of we had long enough time to think about it, and once you're given a length of time, you understand new processes, different ways of manufacturing things, and the idea forms to completely redesign it, and that's what we've done.
And that obviously takes a while, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. So Etha 2 originally started several years ago, and then we shelved it and started developing the G-Tech instead. So sort of we put it to one side, said we'll come back to that at a later date. What we're going to do is the G-Tech instead fill a range, fill a price point in the market. We did that, led to the 160R as well. Now come full circle back to getting on to, similar to what I said with the LVR the other day. We're a very small team. There's just 3 of us that work on all the product design, so we can't run multiple different things concurrently. So we have to pick and choose which projects we work on. which means that they do have to run simultaneously. Not simultaneously, run concurrently. So.
And the cool thing with doing pauses sometimes is you can actually come up with cool little ideas outside of the bubble, bring back in.
Exactly.
Which is what we've got in the Ether too, a few little cool features.
Lots of very cool little features.
So if you want to get into some of the little features, just so people get a bit of a taste of...
Finish answering that question.
Oh, yes.
So we started back full-time on this in November last year. So November 2015.
Brilliant.
So it's about a 14 month gestation period for it.
Cool. And it's almost...
Which, considering how much there is in here, is actually very, very quick.
Yeah,
a couple of the bits we managed to go through quite quickly because we'd already done some of the work on before, but a lot of it was brand new for us.
Nice.
Okay, so what do you want to go through?
A few people want to know about the drivetrain.
Okay.
I'm going to show them the drivetrain.
Drivetrain.
Yeah.
So it's bolt out back. I knew this would happen. I get a bit sweaty and then won't be able to install.
And this is one of the things when people ask about performance things versus certain ranges of markers, and then they'll say, why is that, but why is it cheaper than that? And this demonstrates one of those things, that we have quick release bolts and stuff for the higher end markers.
Yes, yeah, and then obviously threaded for the lower end markers. It's one of the performance differences, if you like. Yeah. So what we have inside is a gamma core. So a lot of people guessed it would have a gamma core in, and they were right. So basically what we have inside here, we have the same bolt, can, bolt guide, spool and switch that you have on a G-Tech and a 160R. And then the rear section here is the only bit that's actually different, and that's the valve body, because obviously the valve body of a 160R and a G-Tech has the bolt pin in the back to hold it in. This one's threaded and has the bolt cap on the back. So the bolt cap is a separate piece, one of the cost restraints. So coming back to, I will discuss in more detail later about the costings of this and things, but obviously in order to make this this part cheaper to manufacture, we've gone with a nylon, glass reinforced nylon cap on the back that screws onto the valve body.
Cool.
Okay, but
that's quite a lot of performance, isn't it?
Yeah, but that gives you an idea of the performance envelope of this particular gun. The valve chamber is exactly the same size. It has the same operating pressure range as a G-Tech and a 160R, and of course will therefore have the same shock characteristics, the same efficiency, the same performance, same ability to handle fragile paint.
So in terms of comparing it to the Ether, it will shoot a whole lot better.
Yes, completely different. So I know that was one of the questions, how will it perform differently to an Ether, current Ether? Obviously completely differently. Cool. And much more on a par with a G-Tech and a 160R. So.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's as good as a G-Tech.
No, because it obviously with... Okay, so coming round to the question I was going to discuss a bit later, but I might as well do it now. So with any product, when we're asked to design it, we have to hit a certain cost point for the mark. So it has to retail for a certain amount. All the different elements have to come out of that, and that gives us a cost amount that we have to be able to manufacture it for. So in order to get the level of performance that we have from the drivetrain, this is very expensive drivetrain to manufacture. It's very high tolerance, and there's components in there that aren't simple to make. So this costs quite a bit of money. The solenoid that's in there costs quite a bit of money to manufacture, which means we had to make cost savings in other places in the gun itself. So that was going right back to the start. That was one of the big design considerations, was where do we allocate the budget to manufacture this gun? Do we allocate it to making it all metal construction, making it look absolutely amazing, but then have to sacrifice elsewhere in performance terms, basically, or reliability or something like that? In what we did instead was go completely the other way, and we've put basically a very high-end drivetrain, very reliable, really robust, very efficient, and put that in a package that was cheaper for us to manufacture.
Yeah, because one of the things we don't do, well, we do, is we make sure everything does what it's meant to do. Get on the field, get you through games, enjoy your play, clean it, keep it going.
And can everybody hear me all right? Because you got your hand right over the microphone, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
I think it'll be fine. No one's complained yet,
No,
so we're doing
okay,
alright.
So from there, so obviously it's got a gamma core. So one of the questions I know that's been asked a few times, what's it made out of? Basically, it's glass reinforced nylon upper and lower. So the whole frame assembly and all of the body shell is glass reinforced nylon. External aluminium components go as far as the thing down here, the trigger, and I think that's it. I think they're the only, and the barrel obviously, are the only two external aluminium components. So it's not a plastic trigger, it's a metal trigger, and obviously it's a metal body down here. Inside there is a metal sleeve, and the shell slides off the metal sheet. The shell slides off the metal body inside, and it will allow us to hopefully do things in the future. We have talked, like we did with the trigger for CS1, about making the body shell open source so people can print their own 3D bodies, because obviously everything functional is on the inside, which means people could make their own 3D sleeves, any configuration they like. It allows other manufacturers to make different body shells for them if they wanted to. So yep, that's
cool.
Quite a neat little feature as well.
So people can have a whole lot of fun with it.
Yes.
Dressing it up, do whatever they want.
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
the idea. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, another questions?
Batteries, AA or 9 volt?
9 volt. 9 volt. So again, another consideration comes down to costing as well. 9 volt, although being more expensive to buy for the end user, the circuitry needed to go on the circuit board to use AAs was cost prohibitive for this product.
Good stuff.
Because you need to bump the voltage, and that's extra components on the board.
Good stuff. And in terms of firing modes, people want to know what it will come shipped with.
It'll come with everything that you need. So semi-uncapped, semi-capped, ramping to NXL/Millennium and the old PSP mode. So everything that all our Eclipse guns come with currently.
Cool. And because this is a lower end, let's say, we don't have a navigation console, doesn't have the screen, it's not going to have an OLED update. Upgrade, sorry.
So look on the back there, no screen, there's nowhere to put a display at all.
So
it's just LED.
And whereabouts are the LEDs on that?
So the LEDs are here.
Just on the side. Is that on both sides?
On that side as well.
Both sides. Oh, beautiful.
So, and it's rear facing, so it is heads up. So you can see down the marker. Can't see it from the front, but you can see it from the side. And it's put on the side, so you can actually see it when you're left or right-handed.
Good stuff.
Power button's here. Power button can be used with your left hand, or can be used with your right hand. So again, put in a position where you can use it no matter which way you're holding the marker.
No,
pretty cool.
That's cool. Really easy to access, isn't it? Really easy to just get into and use.
Yep. So batteries, yes, 9 volt battery, cool little feature. This is where the batteries go.
The lock and load battery system.
Lock and load, yeah. Pull out the locking tab, press in the 2 tabs at the side, battery holder pops out, 9 volt pops out. So no tools changing over the battery. So put that in.
Tab in.
Tab in. Lock it off in place.
And we notice there's no screws on the side of the grips either.
Yep, so the grips have no screws. Simply pull out the tab at the back, flip those off, and you've got wraparound front and rear grips. They come off.
Good
So
stuff.
they're completely toolless as well.
Nice and easy.
Back in. Clip those in. The rear section in. Lock that back off. The grips back on.
Nice. It's a proper kind of easy to pick up and just get into, isn't it?
Yeah.
A few people asking about the holesless setup. Whether that works similar to a CS or whether it's completely different.
No, it's completely different because the solenoid's in a different place. So the what we have down here is a pop system. So it's a nice little pop. It's got a glass reinforced nylon bonnet over the end. Same pops as we use on our other products. Really cool. And then inside here, put these off again because it's easy enough to show you. Inside here we have inline regulator. Then we have pipe internal to the frame, takes it up into the solenoid manifold. These two little brass pins hold in place. Then from there, the solenoid is mounted directly onto the bottom of the body. Now I was just going to pop the frame off.
Yes.
This is pretty cool as well. So obviously there's nothing, it's a bit of a weird one really, because we made the grips come off really easily, but there's nothing actually inside the frame. So there's no need to ever take the grips off, because you don't need to go in there to get to the circuit board or the battery or anything.
And again, that kind of is the comparison with the lower end to the higher end, is all that looks very sealed inside, whereas with the high end you've got access to pretty much everything, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you can fiddle around with it and do whatever you need to.
So that's 2 halves split. Literally goes together.
Cool. So it's quick and easy to clean and
yes,
maintain.
very. So you can see, I don't know if you can see anything, it's all black on black, but there's that's the metal sleeve inside here.
All right.
Yeah. Obviously, wireless connection. There's actually no wires. There's actually no electronics in this bit. So it does have eyes though. So this is another really cool little feature. Dead pleased with, because it worked out really well. So if you look on the circuit board here, we'll zoom in on that.
So a little zoomage. Let's get closer as well. Oh yes.
So you see the eyes are there, and they're actually pointing outwards.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So the little eyes are actually pointing outwards, and they're attached to the single board here. So what you have is you have battery terminals on the board here. So your battery just pushes straight in up against the board. You have your eyes on here. You have your micro switches mounted here for your trigger, and then the solenoid just plugs into the board. So just single board, no other wires, no other wiring internal to the gun at all. So it's simple. Obviously a push button for your power and your LED are all mounted on that one circuit board. Really straightforward, just one screw holds it in place here, and then it hooks under the tabs at the front here. Again, really easy to take out.
Cool.
So what we have for the eyes, obviously those eyes are on there now, but they're pointing outwards, because what we have inside here is something, I don't think anybody else has ever done it before, but we have these funky little light pipes.
Cool.
Those little eye pipes take the signal, bounce around a couple of prisms inside and back out, and they take a reading across the breech.
Nice.
So what was it, detent some of that? Again, for cleaning, it's really simple. You just take the eye covers off. You haven't got to lift any wires out or anything like that. What you do is give the lenses a wipe on there and drop it back on again. Really simple, and it means, more importantly, you've got no wires and no contacts at all between the two halves of there.
Yeah. So the simplicity of it is really aimed at, you know, if you've got the entry-level paintballers or younger people playing, it's protecting them away from all the complex stuff that could get damaged, could get paint in it, could get wet. So they can trust it and just get out there and play, which is what we want people to do, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Good stuff.
So just while I've got it all apart, might as well pop this out. So that's the inline regulator assembly and the pop assembly. They're all just, again, in order to keep the cost down, rather than spending a lot on 3D milling on the pop assembly or the regulator assembly, it's all just simple turn parts. So the styling is very minimal. The detailing has been added on the moulded nylon, glass reinforced nylon parts. So that's the inline regulator, just screws out of that assembly there. Everything just very simply screws together. And then we have in here, pop out the solenoid wires, and in here, now the solenoid assembly.
Cool. Super easy to get to.
Yeah, so again, everything is just really easy, so dead easy for people to be able to maintain it themselves, really easy for the techs to work on. Nothing too complicated for anybody. All just clips and bolts together really easily.
Good stuff. A few people keep mentioning about the plastic thing, and
It's not.
There's a big difference between plastic and the GRN, isn't there?
Plastic.
Yeah, plastic breaks and smashes to pieces. GRN is a
Yeah.
bit tougher than that, isn't it?
Just a bit, yeah. Yeah, we tried smashing this in. I nearly broke. Well, several of us nearly broke our wrists trying to break it. Literally just took everything off, took the barrel off it, took the loader off it, and just tried smashing it into the ground to try and break it. Which just ended up in us breaking ourselves.
Which is why you've been hitting the gym.
Yes. Yeah. Determined to break. I need to get as big as some of those Americans.
That's a lot of cheeseburgers. So while you're putting it back together, let's keep on the aesthetic side of things. The grips look simple and easy to come off. So are we looking at doing any grip upgrade kits?
No.
You know of?
Nope. No,
Keep it
this
simple.
is at this kind of end of the market. I doubt very much whether we as Planet Eclipse would do any kind of like trigger upgrades. Obviously, we mentioned there's no OLED upgrade for it.
Yeah.
There's coloured grip kits. Not really the kind of thing that people at this end of the market are looking for. They're looking for a functional gun that can go and
this is to get people onto the ladder, get out there playing, enjoy the sport without having to worry about the kit, and then they can move on and get some really cool stuff. So let's talk colours. I think we've got three colour options coming.
So there'll be all black. There'll be black and earth. All right.
Yeah, but like the 160 colours.
Yeah, and then which will be, I presume, that's going to be black with tan parts.
Yeah.
And then an HD earth. So it'll have the same HD print that we put on like the EMC kits.
Yeah, that'll look really cool. That.
Yeah.
The visuals we did look really cool.
Yes.
So hopefully the final thing looks really cool. So we've touched on performance, we've touched on aesthetics, we've had a good look at how it's made and what it's involved with and this, that and the other. People have obviously asking about price, but I don't think we've got a final price yet, have we? We know it's going to be at the lower end.
Yes, it's going to be very similar to the current Ether. Yes.
Good stuff. Just had to decline your wife.
Oh, she's trying to call
so
me.
tell her it's my fault. So, thanks for the questions on that, guys. I think we've covered everything in terms of we'll do more of these between now and the final launch, and we'll just finish up with...
Finger off the lens, you bellend.
Leds is going to come in with some questions shortly.
Is he going to come and bring us some questions?
I think he's going to come and bring us some questions.
Ooh.
Leds will come and bring us some questions in a minute.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of random ones.
Couple of random questions.
So the first up, a few people have noticed you've got tattoos now, Jack.
Yes.
So and you've just had another one added.
Yeah, so that's the first one I've done a month and a half ago.
And on the other side?
And then
the new
that
one.
one was done this weekend, or last weekend.
So we're getting on floral with it.
Yeah. Floral patterns, the start of a full sleeve basically.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice, that's all good. Another one, marker specific. Do you ever get sick and tired of people complaining about how our new guns look, our markers look when they're launched, but then after about 2 or 3 months, they completely fall in love with them?
Yeah, launching any gun is any new products is stressful, whatever it is, for the reason where you just read all the people's thoughts on them, and you wonder what on earth they're looking at, to be perfectly honest.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it?
It is, and I think particularly with something like this, because it's a big departure from anything we've done before, so it's just a bit different. I think a lot of people struggle to see past what they're used to, but I think once they've lived with it and they see it around, they can appreciate the detail in it. So, I mean, a lot of people are saying this is ugly. I don't think it's ugly. It feels amazing. It's different. It's got a different shaped foregrip on it, but it feels absolutely amazing. It's got some sharper lines on it than what we normally do. But, I mean, everything flows really nicely. Everything matches. Got, the ribbing on the grips matches the ribbing on the foregrip. Yeah. The stippling on here is hard to see, but that matches the stippling on the foregrip here. The lines are all...
It's got that nice futuristic edge to it as well, because
this was like a bit of a hark back to our old Eclipse days. We used to have the little shark fins at the back. We just reversed them and gone the other way with it.
Yeah, because we don't really want to go down the route when we're trying to get people into the sport of producing things that look like real guns, because that's not where we want to be going.
Not really. No.
So
not with everything that's going on in the world. So it's a sport.
Yeah, sport, and it's fun. A few people mentioning your shirt, saying, is it a kid's shirt?
Is this one a kid's shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Print won't work.
What's that?
The print won't work.
Okay, so Leds is just at the side of me now.
What is it, kid's shirt? No, I'm just buff.
Ripped.
Yeah.
And we had a little laugh before about we need to have some questions if anyone can help us with our printer. So
somebody wants to know if the feed neck is attached to the body or on the plastic.
It's attached to.
Say that again into the camera.
So
is the feed neck
attached to the metal body or the
composite?
The shell? It's attached to the shell. So when you slide the shell off, the feed comes off with it.
All right, cool.
But it's got the same moulded stub that we use on the metal bodies. So it's got the same lip on it. And this is the same actual feed that's on a G-Tech, an E-Tech 5.
Is that the Def Tech?
Yes, and there's Def Tech, of course,
Yeah. And just for people that don't know, Def Tech is?
It's the offset feed. So a lot of people, you will be amazed how many emails we've got to say my gun's been machined wrong because the feed is off to one side slightly.
And that's a Planet Eclipse?
Yeah, that's Planet Eclipse.
Our own thing.
Yeah. Goes on all our guns.
And what does it do? It stops balls from bouncing back up into the breach? It stops
balls bouncing, the particularly unloaded balls falling down into the breach and bouncing back out. So because it's offset, they fall in and get deflected. Deflection technology. Get deflected over to the right, so it's there's less likely to bounce back up again.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that.
A lot of people don't know that, and they don't know. They don't understand why this feed is very slightly. It's only 2mm offset, but it's enough to stop the balls bouncing directly back up the breech again.
Okay, we've got another one.
It's not there to slow. I mean, certain other manufacturers think that it's there to slow the paintball down as it falls into the breech. It's not there to slow the paintball down. It's deflection. So it comes down, hits the angle because it's milled slightly offset in the centre. Hits the angle and bounces the ball over to the right of the breech rather than allowing it to bounce in the bottom of the breech and come straight back up again.
Cool.
Stop
Good
chops.
stuff.
To stop chops. Yeah.
Two different questions, but somebody wanted to know: is it the same board that's on the G-Tech, and then also
not the same board as the G-Tech?
Will there be an OLED upgrade for it?
Yeah, I think we've already answered that one.
Yeah. No OLED upgrade.
No OLED upgrade, and it's not the same board, but it has the same range of parameter adjustments.
Good stuff.
It has debounce adjustment between 1 to 10, rate of fire adjustment, ramped, capped. That's about it.
Yeah, Leds is coming.
Has it got a serviceable solenoid?
Yes. Yeah. So the solenoid, it has the same pilot that's in the 160R and the G-Tech, and it has a different spool and spool body, but it all comes apart, and you can fix it, repair it, grease it, do whatever you want to it. We'd rather you didn't, but you can if you want to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Somebody said, is it going to be good against sand and dirt, and there's a few questions about the strength and the ruggedness. People are saying, can you use a rental gun? Can we,
Yeah, I mean, there's a load out there being used as rental guns at the moment. So we've got them on fields. I said before, we've got them on fields all across the US, Russia, being used as rental guns, being beat up every weekend. I haven't had any. I haven't had a single broken part. I haven't had a call from a single field saying they've had an issue or anything. All the guns have just worked flawlessly since they've had them. It's very, very, very. I mean, do you want me to try and break it?
No.
No, I'll hurt myself.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt yourself.
But I mean, we did literally. Well, if you just want to come over here, I'll show you the test that we did on.
All right.
So,
what we can do is give people a sneak peek of our. The production Rangers is there. But anyway, that's a different thing.
Nothing secret around.
No, just the Rangers is what coming in next year.
We've got some people a lot bigger than me doing this.
Right.
Basically, we just tried. So
now
broke floor,
damaged the carpet.
But yeah, they're pretty tough.
Yeah.
So yes, we haven't got any concerns about the robustness or the strength of them at all.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Simon Stevens wanted to know, in this day and age, the difference between a spool and a poppet valve. How do you have your coffee?
How do I have my coffee?
Yeah.
Have it in a cup. Have it milky. I like a lot of coffee, so I'll have a big heap spoon of coffee, just like half a spoon of sugar, brown sugar preferably, and quite a bit of milk.
Does this mean he's going to come and visit us
And
make the brew?
obviously full calf as well.
Brilliant.
All that decaf stuff.
2 more. Ben Shield says lead sounds rough.
I am quite rough.
He's
He lasts
very
for
rough.
weeks, something wrong with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we send a doctor with his coffee?
And Taylor asked, will there be an EMC kit for it? Or will the existing one fit it?
None of the existing ones will fit.